welcome to Carol's Universe Tarot Readings, Tarot Readings for Heart. Sorry, let me just move some stuff off my desk here. Yeah, thanks ever so much for joining me on your August 2016 month ahead reading. These are going to, I always say it's going to be shorter and then it ends up longer, but we're going to try and make it a bit shorter this month because I've got the live spreads to get out as well, and I want to get them sort of back to back, so you'll get your month ahead reading, and alongside that will also be your live spread reading for you to take a look at afterwards. If you'd like a private reading with me, Gemini, just go to www.carolsuniverse.co.uk. You know, it's an interesting month, but your advice card is the Hanged Man. Now, when you get a Hanged Man card, whenever I see this card, it means several things. It means that things are up in the air. It means that one's hands are tied. It means that one is resistant to making a choice or a decision because they want to see how something unfolds. It means that we need to look at things in a different way, in a different light, look at things from maybe a different perspective, potentially, with the Hanged Man energy. I feel that more than anything, though, with the Hanged Man, things kind of, in the month of August, for some of you Gemini people, might hang in the balance. I feel that it's to do with, especially if you are in a relationship with someone. I don't feel that it's it could be, I'm going to explain this reading in two ways anyway. So it could be for some of you guys that, you know, the relationship hangs in the balance, because I am seeing a couple of people here. Okay, I'm seeing potentially for some of you guys it could be a three-way relationship, you know, a love triangle. So that's one of the things I'm going to discuss in the reading. But the other thing that's interesting to me is the fact that I feel some of you guys might be moving house, potentially, but I feel that you need to make sure you've got the money to do it for some reason. We'll discuss the moving section first. So the first two cards to show, we're going to explain in terms of moving house, is the High Priestess and the Knight of Wands. And it's not moving house, and it might be job, but I feel that it's house because I feel that you have to outlay some money. So when you get the High Priestess is a passive card. So she's Major Arcana, but she's extraordinarily passive. And for me, the High Priestess is one of the most difficult cards to explain within the tarot, purely because of her nature, and that she doesn't really... She serves a function in terms of listening to your intuition. But she also serves a function in terms of really getting to the heart of a matter, but being resistant to show your hand on anything. So usually when I get the High Priestess, sometimes this can be just somebody who's sitting and watching television. I know it sounds weird, but she can literally just show as somebody who's watching a show and she's absorbing all of the energy. She's a very interesting character, and she's very, very interested in how she feels and how other people feel. And she tends to absorb everything and everyone and the whole atmosphere. And she tends to take it all inside of herself and work on it from a very deep level, if that makes any sense to you. So to her, knowledge is power on things, but she's not the type of person who needs the knowledge in order to go out there and show it to others. She needs it purely for herself, because she's the type of person, this is why she can be considered a card that shows up when there's a secret that needs to be unveiled, or she can show up when it's a case of, I'm not going to do anything right now, I'm going to hold everything in within. So this can show somebody who's holding a secret or hiding a secret, or they're not divulging something, because it's for them and them alone. And sometimes you need another card to show what that's. So if you got her at the top of a pyramid reading, you know, a pyramid reading, and then you would put cards that underneath. So you get maybe 2 cards underneath her, then 3 cards, then 4 cards, form a pyramid. And so she turned up. It would suggest at the top of the reading there's a secret that needs to be revealed, or it's about to be revealed. Then the 2 cards underneath would show what that secret was. Then the 3 cards would show what that, you know, would go more into the secret and what it is that needs to be, that you need to know. So this is often the card of secrecy, paying great attention to your intuition, finding the clarity in situations, being unwilling to move. If you get this card sometimes in an outcome meaning, in an outcome in a reading, personal reading, it can mean that nothing changes, and it can mean that things might just stay the same, because it's a number 2 card, and number 2s represent waiting, they represent trying to find answers, they represent decisions to be made, they represent imbalance and balance. So usually with the High Priestess, she's in charge of all the number 2 shows. She would encompass all of those things. She can be about trying to find a balance, trying to make a decision, but she can also represent a time of waiting, okay? And usually when we wait for something, it's because we're looking to see what an outcome is, or we're waiting on a decision to be made until before we actually make that decision. And I feel with the High Priestess showing here, Gemini, it really says that you're waiting for a move with that Knight of Wands, because the Knight of Wands can often be seen when you're moving home. But I don't feel it's or changing careers, or there's a change in a direction, or you're moving in a certain direction. I feel for some of you guys, you might be waiting to move home, potentially, because the Knight, if I were to put these as keywords together, the High Priestess is waiting, and the Knight of Wands moving home. So waiting to move home usually shows up when you're moving home. But you can get any cards that show up for moving home as long as they show movement. Okay, so 8 of Wands, 6 of Swords, a Death, Wheel of Fortune, the Fool. Any cards that show forward movement can indicate moving home. But because it's shown up right alongside that High Priestess, if I was to look at this as a reading about moving home, which I think it can be for some of you guys, I feel that you're waiting to move home. And this is why I feel that the energy or the advice for the month is that things might be a little bit up in the air around that in the month of August 2016. It could also be that you're waiting to kind of shift money around, because remember the Hanged Man means we need to make a big adjustment here. So, you know, on the part of you Geminis who can resonate with waiting to move home or potentially moving home, it could be because you need to make an adjustment in terms of and I feel that it's mainly on your part and not on the vendor's part, or not on the estate agent or the real estate agent's part. I feel it's something to do with something that you've got to do in the month of August, Gemini. The first cards that we see are the Three of Pentacles. When you get the Three of Pentacles, it's about a meeting. Okay, now obviously you've got 3 people here. These 2 people here will be showing documents. They've got documents in their hand, and they'll be showing it to this workman here. Now the workman is simply indicative of somebody who has the power to influence an outcome. So that he's got the power to do the work. He's got the power to give you a decision. He's got the power to say yes or no. He's got the power to show you around. He's the person who's giving you the valuable information that you need. Okay, so I feel for some of you guys, especially if you're coupled, this will be you guys. And I've seen this card show so many times for couples that are actually applying for a mortgage, or going to see an estate agent, or they're going to see a bank manager. And because it's Pentacles, a lot of the time it's to do with homes and it's to do with money. Okay, so because it's Pentacles, it's often something around, you know, I did a reading, a face-to-face reading with a lady about 2 weeks ago, and it was only because I was in Waterstones looking for some tarot stuff, and she was looking for some angel tarot stuff. We got chatting, and she said that she didn't like tarot because she'd been for a tarot reading once in which this tarot reader really frightened her. And I said, well, I'd like to show you a different way of doing tarot that doesn't frighten you, and that's very gentle but very honest. And this came up for her in the centre, and I said to her, you know, do you work in real estate? Do you work with others? Are you, I'm getting the impression that your job is you work with a team, or you work in terms of finances or showing people around homes. And she said yes. She said that she was a real estate agent. This was her, and these were the 2 people underneath her, her 2 apprentices, the 2 people that worked alongside her, that got the advice from her. She was like a head real estate person, and these were the 2 people that worked underneath her. So often this can be where you're in the forefront and you've got a couple of apprentices, or you've got a couple of people who work underneath you. Often this card can show up for this is you and somebody else. And I feel like this is you and somebody else, and you're applying for a mortgage, or you're talking to somebody about money or something to do with the home. But I feel that there is conflict over this, and there is being in 2 minds, because we've got the 2 of Swords that shows up. This 2 of Swords can also mean no contact. So it can also mean I'm not going to make any contact with a particular person until I'm sure, because I'm just not certain of the situation now. So what I'm sensing in August, Gemini, is that you could potentially be going for a meeting, especially if you've got a partner, over maybe a new place to live. And the 2 of Swords says that maybe you and your partner are at odds and ends, or maybe you're both, as a collective, in 2 minds about this thing. Because 2 of Swords means, with the 2 swords crossed against the chest and two swords pointing up in two directions, it can suggest I've got two thoughts or two ideas and I don't really know what to do. Now, what is it that you've got two ideas about, Gemini? Well, it could be, do I have enough money? Because when you get Seven of Pentacles, especially when it shows around a home, so Seven of Pentacles, Four of Wands, Seven of Pentacles, Knight of Wands, Seven of Pentacles, maybe Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Wands, anything to do with moving home, somebody's going to be looking at how much money they've got. How much do I have to spend? How much have I got in the bank? And it's against a King of Pentacles card as well. So the King of Pentacles can be the real estate agent. So it could be that you're needing to show your bank statements, how much you earn, how much you've got to this geezer here. Another way that I could read this, when you get kings, they are at the top of the chain of the court cards. So for example, a King of Cups would be at the top of his own emotional awareness. So he is rock solid in terms of how he feels emotionally. Now sometimes, you know, King of Cups can be a moody bastard, but at the same time, it's only because he doesn't feel the need to be overly emotional. He already understands who he is emotionally wise, and that's why he's on a really kind of even keel when it comes to how he knows how he feels around certain situations, and he's able usually to deal with difficult situations because he's gone through the mill and he's got to a point where he really kind of is at that point where he doesn't need validation and he doesn't need to be working out the whys and wherefores. He just understands what the situation is, and then he says, well, for good or bad, I'm going to deal with it, and that's that. When you get the King of Pentacles, because Pentacles are related to materialistic stuff, money, earth, buildings, the outcome of our efforts, this can be, wow, I've worked really hard and this is the outcome of my efforts. Okay, so I do have enough money in the bank. I do have enough money to spend. So it could be that you're evaluating your finances and you find that you've got enough money. You've got enough money to put down a deposit on that property. Okay. Now, it could also be with the Seven of Pentacles. While I'm trying to look at my account, I'm looking at how much I've saved, how much money I've got in the bank. Do I need to top anything up, which is where this one pentacle would come in? Do I need to add to this? Do I need to take this one pentacle here and put it onto here, or have I got enough? Okay, have I got anything that's surplus left over from what I've got? Or do I need to put everything all in? And with this King of Pentacles, it can be that you will have enough money, or it can be, do I have enough money to spend? Because when you get a King of Pentacles, it would suggest that you've got enough money to spend. When you get a King of Pentacles in a reading, if somebody was to come to me and say, you know, will I be able to buy my own home within 6 months? And I had the King of Pentacles showing the outcome, I would tell them yes. I would say, yes, you do have enough money. You will have enough money. Because it would show that you are very abundant. You are very cash rich, because the King of Pentacles is at the top of his financial ability, his financial awareness. So he knows exactly what he's got. And because he's a king, it doesn't mean that he's rich, but it means that he's stable in terms of his finances. If the King of Cups means I'm stable emotionally, the King of Wands means, well, I'm stable in terms of my career. The King of Swords means, well, I'm stable in terms of the way that I think, my ideas, my logic. Then the King of Pentacles surely must mean, well, I'm stable financially. So it would show some financial stability. And you're able then to go off and do what you need to do. So I feel that you will be evaluating your financial stability with that King of Pentacles. It could mean that you're stable, it could mean not. Because we have the Lovers. And when you get the Lovers, this could be the relationship that you're in. So maybe you guys are going for a mortgage, or you're looking to rent a new property. And with your partner, there may be a choice that you need to make. Because you may need to look at what it is in terms of finances that you've been planning. When you get the Knight of Pentacles, this means move with caution. Okay? Move slowly, move methodically. Alright? Don't just rush into things. Of all the Knights, this guy does not rush. He's very, very cautious. He takes it slowly because he knows that he needs to look at the finer print. He needs to look at the details, okay, of the situation. So there'll be a choice, I feel, that you'll need to make on what it is that you've got down on paper in terms of finances. I feel that within August, It's not that you're not going to have enough money to do things, but I feel that you're just going to be very, very cautious around what you do and how you do it. Because the end is the Page of Wands, and the Page of Wands can be receiving a message, but then it can also be sending a message. Okay, so I feel that you are cautious, you make a choice, probably to deliver financial news. If the Knight of Pentacles is financial, and remember, Knights don't often represent people, they represent actions. They represent moving forward. So they are the bringers of change. They are the beginning and ending of a situation. Alright? So they are the instigators of change. The instigator of change would be the Knight of Pentacles in terms of the instigator of change in terms of financials. Okay? So this person will start to make forward movements in terms of his financial situation, but he'll do it very cautiously. Okay? He'll start planning. I feel that the Lovers will start to plan in terms of, you'll start making a financial plan in terms of where you're going with this home move. And therefore, you'll be looking at sending a message to the Emperor. And the Emperor often represents an establishment. Okay? That's what your Emperor is. And we can see the Page of Wands is facing the Emperor. And the Emperor can often mean a large organisation, for example. So you'll look to send a message to the Emperor, but this is when you've actually got everything in place. Okay? The High Priestess could simply mean that you're thinking about a move. And you maybe with the Hanged Man, the advice is to hold up, wait. Make sure that you've got everything sorted. Make sure you've got all the I's dotted, the T's crossed. Okay? But I do feel a lot of you guys are going to be in the process of moving, or even definitely thinking about a move. And you will have the money there to do that. Probably not, you'll have the money, I believe, in August, and you'll probably be looking to move around the September time. The other way that I could do this reading is to say that for some of you Geminis, you might be trying to ignore. The High Priestess can mean I'm ignoring. You look at this lady here, and she's not doing a thing. She's not paying attention to anyone or anything. She sits in her own private world. She doesn't really pay attention to anything outside of herself. So this is why I can see this High Priestess being a card where it shows up when it shows that you're ignoring something. And it can be for some of you guys, you're ignoring the Knight of Wands. Or you're trying to ignore the Knight of Wands. So it might be a love triangle for some of you guys. We do see the Three of Pentacles here. Three of Pentacles can represent a three-way relationship. Could be in an office environment. It could also be where somebody is on a pedestal. So maybe this Knight of Wands is somebody who really stands out. Somebody who's quite forthright. Somebody who wants your time. Somebody who wants your attention. But it looks like you're trying to ignore this person as your general energy. Therefore, the advice card with the Hanged Man would be, you know what, I'm not attempting to make any moves forward with this. Because I simply don't trust the situation. I'm going to put this on hold. For some of you guys, you might try blocking out a particular person or a situation. If it's a three-way love triangle in the month of August, you might be trying to block that out with that Two of Swords energy. Because Two of Swords energy means no contact, block out. So you might be blocking out a three-way relationship with that Three of Pentacles, okay? Because you are needing to evaluate or look at what you have invested in a particular person in your life, which could be an Earth energy, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus individual. And that is because you have a very strong relationship that is very faithful and very solid with the Lovers and that Knight of Pentacles. When you get the Lovers, it can indicate a very solid relationship, but it can also indicate something of a temptation. So if it's a temptation, it could be that the Knight of Pentacles is the temptation. So maybe this is an Earth sign individual, okay? It could be somebody that you're already involved with and you're blocking somebody else out. Or it could be somebody who you're trying to block out, because the idea of doing anything behind this person's back might be a little bit too difficult to comprehend. For some of you guys, you might want to take a risk on a new person in the month of August, because the Page of Wands in terms of love can mean an exciting new thrill You know, it's like a thrill ride. It's like an exciting new adventure with a particular person. And it could be around this Emperor energy. So it could be an older person that maybe comes in. Maybe you've been trying to ignore this person. Maybe this person with the Knight of Wands energy could be older, but could be quite a philanderer. Could be somebody who is quite fiery as an individual. He's all about kind of hit and miss, hit and quit, as it were. He's all about kind of, you know, coming on strong. And I can see this Knight of Wands running right into the High Priestess. But the High Priestess is ignoring the Knight of Wands. We have a very passive card here faced with a very active energy. So somebody wants a bit of action here, but you seem to be ignoring it. Which could be why you might be in two minds over this situation. It could be in the workplace. Because you're considering a relationship that you're already involved with. However, it all may not be all that it seems in your relationship, or else why would you need to evaluate the relationship with the King of Pentacles? So therefore, you'll need to make a decision, perhaps, with the Lover's card, on a person that seems very stable and very loyal, but then they might be quite boring, because the Knight of Pentacles is often seen as the boring knight, doesn't really do much, he's far more into his career than anything else, but he's in it for the long haul. And it could be, okay, maybe I'll just have a bit of fun here, because we've got the Page of Wands. I decide that I'm going to take a risk, maybe on the Emperor, the older guy with the youthful spirit. And therefore, the Hanged Man could mean, okay, well, I'm going to do something a little bit different, okay, than I've done before. I'm going to step out of my comfort zone. I'm going to let go, okay? I'm not going to limit myself, okay? I don't have to be stuck in a relationship that's boring. Maybe it's time to try something new. Interesting reading for the month of August 2016, Gemini. But we're going to get an angel card just to see what the angels are saying to you for this month. Universe Spirit, what is the advice that you have for Gemini in the month of August 2016? What is the advice that you have for the zodiac sign? Okay, we have two cards flip out. And I had to put them together for a moment. And it says, trust that there'll be a peaceful resolution. Does that make any sense to you guys at all? Because those are the cards that flipped out. Let's have a look in the book. Trust. This is a time for trust. Sometimes there is no yes or no to a question. There are situations where we are better served by not knowing what is to come, so that the miracle can unfold before our very eyes. Like children opening a gift, part of the magic of our lives is found in the joy of surprise. Trust that your angels have something amazing in store for you, even if they can't quite tell you what that is yet. And let's have a look at the next one, peaceful resolution. Let's see. The challenges you're inquiring about are going to come to an end. Conflict will cease and soon be replaced with harmony. There will be a sense of peace shared by all, even if some only agree to disagree. Disagreements will be resolved in your favour. This includes struggles with employers, legal battles, arbitration, even strife among family or friends. Be forgiving and understanding with those who may have been in error. Allow peace to come with grace and dignity for everyone. Well, you know, really interesting cards. I feel whatever this means for you, it means for you. You need to trust that there's going to be a peaceful resolution. For some of you guys, it won't be love and it won't be home move. For some of you guys, you need to make a decision on something here that might be proving quite difficult, okay? We do have that Two of Swords there. We do have the Three of Pentacles. So it could be difficult negotiations that are going on with you, okay? And you need to evaluate something around this King of Pentacles individual or energy with you. It could be that you need to make a choice, okay? And in that choice that you make, there will be a resolution, or there will be a peaceful and slow move forward, maybe to repairing something in your life. With the Page of Wands, it's good news that comes to the employer, which can be the Emperor. So you can look at this in all sorts of ways. I feel that this reading for the month is really saying, in essence, that it is a time of waiting, a time of adjustment, a time of suspense. But after that, I feel it will be all systems go. I also feel with the whole hangman, it could be a time where you need to look at something from a different perspective, have a different way of looking at something, Gemini, in terms of your life, that's going to help you to move forward. Okay, that's your reading, Gemini, for the month of August 2016. I would like to say thank you very, very much for using Carol's Universe, and I will speak to you guys soon. Take care.